friends. So today I wanted to talk about my favorite horror magazine, and I've covered Monster Kids and horror magazines. I have a video entitled something like that, and the horror community and all this stuff that I've covered many times before, but this is kind of a specific spotlight for a magazine that I've taken a fondness to. So I don't have subscriptions to magazines. However, I will go to Barnes & Noble once a month and try and pick up copies of Horror Hound, Famous Monsters, Fangoria, Diabolique, and Rue Morgue. And Barnes & Noble doesn't carry Fangoria anymore, and I can't afford the subscription, so I've given up on Fangoria. I still like them, but I haven't read them in about a year and a half since Barnes & Noble stopped carrying them. And Rue Morgue has been my go-to. It's been my favorite. It has the best information that's most relevant to my interests when it comes to the horror industry. Of course, like anyone, you can get information about horror movies online. There's tons of websites, there's tons of blogs, everything that can tell you anything about up-and-coming horror magazines. Or horror movies. That being said, I do really like physical magazine. It reminds me of the community that I'm in, of being a horror kid and being obsessed with horror movies. And it also introduces me to a lot of features that I never really would have picked up on my own. So this right here are all the Rue Morgue magazines I've collected in the last year and a half or so. And every Halloween they have like a special heavier one. But anyway, the most recent one is this, which is talking about the French horror film Raw, which is an indie film, another indie film in Britain, a retrospective from early 70s, a Netflix film, and it'll cover all kinds of things as their cover article. And it's one of those things where it's like, okay, this is a good way to explore new horizons within the horror community. It varies from not just up-and-coming horror films, but tidbits about different directors. It'll have random stats. It'll cover new music and new books that are pretty common in the horror community to have interest in. And I just ended up really liking their formatting and everything. In addition, they have these like special library books that they have that are like actual books. They don't have ads or anything in them. And even though they're not super thick, they still have their own place. The two that I have are the Monstro Bizarro and the Phantasm Film Companion. Although I want to wait till I've seen more than just the first one before I read this one. This one's been pretty interesting, and it has all these crazy different pop culture phenomenon monsters that we love, and then their subsequent film adaptations, which is fun. I used to have another one, but unfortunately the reason I don't have more is that when I was living in Georgia, I had to throw everything away because I didn't have any space. So unfortunately, all of the horror magazines that I collected while in college had to be recycled, which was very, very sad. Anyway, again, this is a short video, and it's covering stuff I've sort of covered before, but I figured I'd make a special little highlight for Rue Morgue, since they're an awesome magazine, and it makes me want to go to Toronto. Thank you, Canada. So anyway, I hope that you check this magazine out, whether it's just to skim or whether it's to view them online or it's to buy things from their company. I really do suggest checking them out. They do cover new DVD releases and old DVD releases and all kinds of things. Anyway, go to midnightcreep.com for some of their merchandise stuff. That's what's going on back here. Anyway, I know that's totally random, but I figured to throw it out there. Till next time, Darklings.